Hello.
Welcome. Welcome.
Please
Welcome.
remain seated.
Welcome.
Stay calm. And
Good morning! New library, 24-hour readathon. The two, they just go together. You get a new library, you sit in it for the next 24 hours and read. It just makes sense. I'm gonna start it today on Tuesday at 12 p.m. I will be interrupted by a Bible study, so I'll pause the timer and then I'll come back and we'll continue into Wednesday. But I'm going to sleep. Sleep is one of the most important things for you. I do not encourage pulling all-nighters. You will shorten your lifespan. I've never done audiobooks in a 24-hour reading video, and I have a puzzle that I'm in the middle of, so I think I'm gonna download an audiobook and do a puzzle, do some laundry. But I have so many books that I want to read, so I'm so excited to just be focused on reading for the next 2 days of my life. If I can assist you over to the TBR shelf. These are the two books I'm most interested in reading right now. I got the early copy of Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood, her young adult romance book, and I'm so excited to read this. And then I've also been 50 pages into Morning Star by Pierce Brown for the longest time, third book in the Red Rising series, which is sci-fi. And the first two books are like a 6 and 5-star read for me, and I just think the series is gonna be one of my favorites. But this one has just started off so slow that I've kind of psyched myself out and been like, oh, I don't remember the character names, I don't know if I can do this. My brother started reading it and said that it just starts slow and then it's really good, so that encouraged me to pick it back up. Let's start this. Guys, this is so cozy. I'm so excited. My excitement about this library has been painful for me. I have my little dog, I have my little books, I have my computer to watch reading vlogs, coffee on standby, my Stanley to stay hydrated. I've got a little lamp on the floor with some floor pillows, and I'm gonna document my adventure with so many cameras. I could not be more excited. Shall we start the timer?
All I want to is to
The readathon has
be
begun.
close to you, but I don't know how and what to do. I'm so shy when it comes to you,
Foot cramp.
but I guess you're curious, huh?
I've already taken a 5-minute nap because it's so cozy and I get tired. I actually just hit 2 hours. 2 hours. I'm on page 113. I love coming back to this sci-fi world, and I think Darrow is one of my favorite characters I've ever read in a book ever. I feel like I just care about him the most, and I also forgot how beautiful Pierce Brown's writing is. It's a sci-fi book, so you wouldn't expect just the most beautiful lines to randomly be in there, but they are. So I've even underlined some things. It's going well. I'm very tired, but that's okay because I just have to lay here and read. Let's continue.
Love is in the air tonight. I am yours, so hold me tight. Love is in the air tonight. Oh, love is in the air tonight. I am yours, so hold me tight. Love is in the air tonight.
Guys, this is actually crazy. It's been over 100 degrees for weeks on end, and it's about to rain outside and be under 100 degrees. This is so cozy for reading for 24 hours. And I also bought myself a treat to accompany me on my reading journey. Yeah, it's an ice cream cookie sandwich. I'm having fun. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Like, too much fun. Life is good. Life is simple. I eat sweet treat, it rains, I read, I'm happy, you know?
Oh, love is in the air.
Good morning. It's now Wednesday morning. It's time to read. I read for 4.5 hours yesterday, and I got this much into Morning Star. I'm on page 194, which feels great because I honestly was losing faith that I would ever get through this book, which made me really sad because I know that I love this series. And this book is so long that I would need so much interrupted time to actually finish it and then get other books finished in the same month. So I have an iced oat vanilla latte, and I'm very excited to just read for the next 19.5 hours. I got to page 260 of this book, and I decided to download the audiobook of it to not finish it per se, but just be able to do some other things during this day other than just sit. So I'm listening to it now, and I'm going to Mod Podge a puzzle because I want to frame these. I have 2 of them to Mod Podge, and then I have 1 of them to build. So I have hours of activity to do while I listen to this, which is perfect, and we're at 6.5 hours.
Gonna make it right, yeah. And I feel so high in love. When it's cold, when it's dark, and I feel like I'm done. Just one look at your face, and your smile takes me home. You are my sunshine, and you fill me up with all them good vibes. Would you keep it up? Oh, just a
just hit hour 10 and I've been working on this puzzle for hours. It doesn't even look like I've made that much progress. And I've been listening to the book this whole time, which I will admit can get a little bit confusing, especially with the sci-fi book with tons of characters. So it's page 355 in the book, and I think I'm gonna take a break from the puzzle and then just go back to physically reading this book. I really wanna finish this one before I jump into the next book, because usually by 10 hours in a 24-hour reading challenge, I would have read like 2 books already, because a 300-ish page romance book will take me like 5 hours to read. And this is a 518-page sci-fi book, so it's taking forever to read. And I don't even want to say this because it makes me sad to admit, but I'm just not as into it as the first 2 books. I also have been not wanting to admit that I just feel a little bit dumb reading this one. I keep getting confused, and it takes a lot of focusing because this one is just all politics, all space war, which like the entire series has been that, but the first one is very Hunger Games-esque, and I thought I was cool for understanding that. Now this one, so many things are happening, and I keep getting tension headaches, so I've been like looking up how to get rid of them, and there's these exercises I've been doing. You, like push your face back and you pull it down. I am having fun though. I love doing puzzles. I'm gonna go back to just physically reading this so that I can like lay my head down. And hopefully I get more into it by reading it with my own eyeballs, because I just have a feeling the end of this book is gonna be insane. So let's do that. This is the second time during this book I've had a literal jaw-dropping reaction. No mercy in sci-fi books, no mercy. It's actually really funny to read a lot of books where stakes just are not high. Like in a romance book, the conflict is like, you looked at me weird. Oh, it was just a miscommunication. In a sci-fi book, no, not a silly little miscommunication. They're not just gonna not talk to you for a few days if they get mad at you in a sci-fi book. They're gonna kill ya. You're gonna go bye-bye. Pain. I have 5 plus 18 is 63 pages left, which is probably an hour. And it's like 9:30 p.m. I think. That last line got me. That was a roller coaster. In the clip before when I said, because I just have a feeling the end of this book is gonna be insane, I was correct. It made all the middle parts worth it. I've been reading for 14 hours and 20 minutes somehow, which is very confusing because that's like way longer than it usually takes me to read a book. But I think the audiobook is what made it so long, because it's like much slower to listen to an audiobook than to just read it. It's 11:17 p.m. I'm a little tired if you can't tell. I just wanted to finish this before going to bed, but I'm gonna go to sleep and we're going to finish this thing tomorrow. And I can't wait to read a bunch of fluffy, cute romance books that we can just fly through, because by this point I would have read like 3 books and I've only read this one, but this one book was a 5-star. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm a little tired.
Day after day, I wanna give my love to you. Oh, night after night, don't let me go. You spin me around, I could do this every day.
Morningstar was so good. I need to go buy the next book in the series. Now that took up 14 hours of this challenge, let's finally move on to Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. Let's see how big the font is, because usually for a young adult book, the font's bigger. Much bigger than Morningstar. I'm so excited to read this. It's gonna be such a different vibe than like a hardcore fantasy, or not fantasy, sci-fi book. I don't even know what it's about, but if y'all don't know, I was very obsessed with chess at the beginning of this year, and I'm assuming as it becomes fall time, I will be re-obsessed, because when it's cold, you stay inside and play against your friends at chess, or you go online and play chess. It's so fun. Highly recommend learning it. And she announced that this book was coming out when I was in the deepest part of my obsession. So imagine my scream when I saw this on my Instagram feed. Probably had chess.com open on another tab. And then Ali Hazelwood, one of my favorite authors, releases a young adult romance book about chess. I like young adult romance better than adult romance a lot of the time, because they explore a lot of emotional issues and like kind of coming of age parts of the love story that I just think adds a lot to the story sometimes, and they make silly little jokes and it's just a fun time. So I'm gonna restart this timer. It's still going strong. Let's get started. Woo!
Cause I feel so high in love. Where it's cold, when it's dark, when I feel like I'm done. Just one look.
I've read a page and a half and we're introduced to what I think is going to be the main male love interest. He's probably said like one line. I have a great idea of who he is and I already like him. Ali Hazelwood just has the ability to showcase a character's personality so well and so quickly, and they're usually very dry people, which I think is what I like, because so many books try to like over dialogue or over explain or just like tell you that they're attractive instead of just like letting them do something that an attractive person would do. That's my least favorite thing in romance books, when they just like keep telling you like, no, they're really attractive. I'm hyped to just be sitting here and reading this book. I do have to go to the dentist today, so other than that, I'll be racing home to keep reading. I just finished the prologue. I know, I read like one more page since I last recorded, but why am I fangirling over this? After the prologue, it has openings as the opening, as in like the book's about to begin, and it's titled Openings because in chess there's like different openings that you can do. I play the London because I'm a beginner. I also just love when books have like cute little cover designs. If I ever publish a book, God willing, I pray that they have cute little cover chapter designs. I'm just so giddy about this book already, and I've read like 4 pages. I think it's gonna be a great one if you can't tell. I'm back from the dentist. My teeth look great apparently. Not to flex. And I scheduled my wisdom teeth to be removed. So that'll be happening next month. You know the book's going well when I was so excited to just get home, get cozy in bed, and keep reading this book. I love it so far. And we're now at 16 hours. So I have 8 hours left. That means we would end at like 11 p.m. today if I read for the entire time. So I'm on page 113 and let's continue.
Would you keep it up? Just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer.
I told y'all, young adult books always have some aspect of coming of age that I just feel like is so, it just adds so much depth, and the subplot of her taking care of her family really got me. Good morning, my faithful reading troops. This is the 3rd morning that I've woken up with the intention of sitting around and reading, which is so fun, don't get me wrong. But these challenges make me forget what normal life is like having a to-do list and doing chores. Kind of forgot what that's like. I did go on a run this morning though, because I just needed some sense of a life other than just reading, which, like I said, I have been enjoying. And after I film these readathons, I usually want to just keep reading because I'm just in the habit of it. But yesterday I made it to 19 hours and 36 minutes, which means today we have about 4.5 hours. And I'm just about to finish this book. I was going to finish it last night and then I took a really long puzzle break and it was midnight by the time I looked up. But I'm on page 300, so I only have 40 pages left. And then hopefully we'll get a really good chunk of the way through another book after this one too. Let's begin. I just finished the book. We're at 20 hours and 34 minutes. I loved the subplots of how Mallory, our main character, views her relationship to her family. Her mom has really bad joint pain and can't get out of bed sometimes, so she takes on the responsibility of taking care of her younger sisters and kind of plays like a mother role to them. And then one of her best friends is going to college and she has a very avoidant attachment style, so instead of letting people leave her first, she tries to get over them before they get over her. And those are the types of like emotional subplots that I love in young adult books, and I thought that part was really well written. And I also just love movies and books about natural prodigies. Like, you're reading about the top chess people in the world and she's just like some girl who doesn't come from money, doesn't have training from anyone other than her father, and is this prodigy. And I love stories like that. It says that the book is for ages 14 and up. I personally feel like there's some pretty mature things that happen in the book or that are discussed, and previously Ali Hazelwood has only written adult romances and they get pretty spicy. So in this one she still talks about pretty mature things, which is kind of expected from this author in her previous work, but I think age ratings are hard because that's personal preference. But I would say this is like a more mature young adult book, and I wouldn't be recommending it to anyone like under 16, 15. I think I would give this like a 4.5 stars. because I really enjoyed it. It's not a 5-star, but Ali Hazelwood just writes some great books. Also, it is very chess heavy. So if you know nothing about chess, I mean, if you've watched Queen's Gambit, you can read this book. Like, you don't need to know anything about chess, but it felt like it explored Mallory's life and chess, and then the romance was like a subplot that kept pushing the book forward, but it was a lot about her. So, amazing book. Here are the books I've read this month. And here's my to be read for September, even though we're in August. So I need to choose what to read next. I don't know why I randomly have the urge to read the epilogue novel of the Addicted series. It's like 727 pages. I won't be starting it in this video because I would not get very far. I kind of just want to revisit the series because I forgot so much about it. I love how I'm not looking at my TBR. I'm just looking at other books. Oh my gosh. This is so cute. Catherine Center sent me some of her books and she drew all over this page. How cute is that? Stop. Now I have to read it. Are you kidding me? Also, slay with the art. Those are some good flowers. I've read these 2 books by Catherine Center and gave both of them 5 stars. This one's like 6 stars, honestly. Her books are so good and they're like in a league of their own. They're very unique. Oh wait, I'm silly. I didn't see the sticker that says hand painted and signed by the author. That's crazy that she sent me one of these. Instant New York Times bestseller. Slay, Catherine. Should I read another Catherine Center book? I'm gonna start the first chapter of this and see if we should read it. How fun! I don't know if I've just gone softer as a person, but all of these unsuspecting books are making me cry. And like probably at things that you won't cry at when you read this book, but they're just really, maybe I'm just taking everything very personally right now. Oh my gosh. This book is nothing that I thought it would be. I thought I would just read a chapter, but that is not how Catherine Center's writing works. You read one chapter and you're halfway through the book. She's so good. I don't even know if this is going to be a romance book. It's kind of just like a women's fiction about a woman who goes through she gets in an accident in the first chapter and then she's in the hospital and it's just like how her life unfolds from there, which sounds way more sad. It is really sad, but with Catherine Center's writing, she has a way of making it feel not lighthearted and funny, but like she just has a kind of sarcastic way of writing that makes it feel bearable. I'm loving it so far. I'm on page 124. And I think there's like 300 pages, and I think I have 2 more hours of the challenge. But I'm probably gonna just finish the book anyway because I need to. Also, every time this one character comes to a scene, I cry. And I really hope this goes where I think it's going because it did not mention any of this in the synopsis. And I will be very disappointed if it doesn't go where I'm thinking, but I think it will. And if it does, this could be a really highly rated book for me. Again, thoughts?
I can still remember the first time that we kissed, feeling light as a feather.
1 hour left.
I always wanna feel like this, but
Okay guys, I lost track of time and we hit 24 hours! Woo! And I lost track of time because I was reading the best scene ever. Not ever. I mean, one of the best romance scenes I've read in a long time. Page 204 for anyone who picks up this book. When a romance book actually has me, I don't know what this would be called, but like that's the reaction I was having to Better Than the Movies. And that's a book I never shut up about. So this is on its way there to be like that. Because I still have 100 pages left, so clearly I have to finish the book. 100 pages will probably take an hour and a half. I'm gonna keep reading because this book is so good. But technically, I've completed my 24 hours over the span of 3 days. I finished this book. I think I'm gonna give it a really high 4.5 stars because the romance in this book was a perfect 5-6 star romance, but it's not a romance book. So when I started getting really attached to the romance, it went back to more of like the literary fiction about this woman's life, and I was just wanting more romance. I like how it ended and everything, but yeah, this book was great. Catherine Center's writing is so amazing. She's definitely one of my favorite authors now for sure. I highly recommend you read this book. I think if you're going through like a big life transition or grief of some sort, then this book probably will be very painful, but also a little bit encouraging and uplifting at the end, like her books usually are. Or it could make you really sad. I don't know. I feel like this book could go either way for people because it kind of made me feel both. But the romance in this was so unique to the scenario because it happens in a hospital. Pretty crazy that all the books that I read in this video were like almost a 5-star. Like this was a 5-star, this was 4.5, this was 4.5. And probably because I've read all of these people's books before and they're some of my favorite authors. So I basically read my favorite authors' books for 24 hours. Thanks for watching this one. I will see you guys somewhere else on the internet, hopefully.